Good morning. I just woke up. I put my blinds up, had the window up a little bit so that I can see some sun, and I thought I would do a new series of videos where I spend my mornings talking to you to share my thoughts. So I just woke up. I still speak funny because I have my retainer. I need to do my bed. Yesterday I did 2 loads of laundry actually. They were all white laundry. But I wanted to show you this thing. So a few weeks ago, my best friend wrote me, sending me a video about some doctor who showed a new way of sleeping, and it was how to sleep in a fetal position because it helps you with insomnia. I need to rewatch that video and I will try to link it. I tried that. It didn't really work for me, but she said you need to give it a few days. One of the things that the doctor did is that he would put a pillow between your knees because it releases the pressure on your pelvis, I guess, and you need to curve your back in a certain way. Anyway, a few days after that, after trying it with my normal pillows, I ended up buying a full body pillow by a brand called Cali Sleep. I don't really love it, but I thought I would give it a try, So that's a bit what I'm doing. I'm actually running low on my medication. I usually take ADHD medication. So today is Thursday, and on Monday I had sent a refill request, electronic refill request, and I didn't see a reply back because I just do it electronically and it goes to my assigned pharmacy, Boots. The problem is that I live in Belgravia, Boots is in Marylebone. That's a 55-minute walk because I obviously cannot take public transportation. I mean, people do, I just choose not to. And I haven't been outside since, now it's going to be almost 2 weeks. I think 12 days or something like that. We are allowed a single walk a day or any form of exercise. So this first walk might be my first venture outside, and it would be a form of exercise, I guess. So I will just go and get my meds. So I'm also getting all my supplements. I was never a big supplement person, but then I eventually realized that my body burns through a lot of stuff. I have things that I still need to fold. I usually start by putting up the light everywhere. This is my workstation from yesterday. I did not put it away, and that's a bad thing. I should have done that. This is the cover for my duvet that is still drying. As I said, I had 2 loads of laundry, so I put stuff to dry everywhere. My little flowers, more flowers, more flowers. I really need to clean up my house. It's looking a mess. So sometime during my lunch break, I'll probably... that's better. Sometime during my lunch break, I'll probably just hoover and clean, because I just feel like my house still looks cute, but it is deteriorating from all my stay in here. Oh, and I need to change my Brita filter. It shows you when you need to change it, mine needs to be changed. So I just got a bread. So this is the state of my fridge. I don't know why I have so many condiments and a lot of my Schweppes, but everything else is pretty light, but it's fine. So I'm going to heat a piece of bread with butter, jam, and then I'm going to toast this because it's old. You've seen it in last week's vlog, and this is like 3 or 4 weeks old. Today, now by the way, we're in my bathroom, so that's why it's going to be echoey. I had a hair mask on and I never washed it, so I need to do that at some point also this evening. But for now, I'm just rejigging my hair, just like that, little puff, all good. I washed my face with the Aesop in 2 Minds facial cleanser. I still love that. I'm running a bit low, but it's fine. And I applied my eye cream. This is still the Innisfree one. And now, because recently I've had a lot of breakouts. I always tend to have breakouts when I'm stressed, when I don't eat well. I feel like my body has been detoxing from all the junk food that I had been eating. So I did have a lot of painful breakouts, cystic hormonal acne, and I wasn't good. I was picking at them. So now I'm going to be using this pigment lightening gel by Neostrata. So I have to apply it on the places where I have that discoloration. So a dot here, a dot here, a dot here. I have 3 in this side. Barely touch it because I don't want it to go outside of where it's meant to be. I was having lots of discussions with our mentees in the past couple of weeks about how this feels, how people are really confined and feeling that they are helpless, wondering whether or not they're going to have jobs when they come back. Yesterday, one of my colleagues' housemate was told in a town hall that the company asked them to take a month off of work, of unpaid leave, if they were not on a project. And that usually is one of those situations where you think about your vulnerable situation and that you could lose your job. Obviously, most of the guys in that company are British, so nothing is going to happen to them. The Europeans also are not usually much affected. But if you are another category of foreigners, like for instance me, the thing is you are not, because the reason why you have a work visa in the country is because the assumption is your skills are needed and couldn't be found elsewhere. You're not allowed to stay in the country if you have not been working. So normally, I think it's maybe a month. You're allowed a month of unpaid leave every year. That's what I think, which is usually hopefully enough for you to go between jobs and things like that. If it doesn't happen, then you have to reapply for your Tier 2 visa. And that would be a real conundrum for a lot of people, especially that now their home countries are probably locked down, right? So that was one of the things where I was thinking, okay, so this doesn't look good. I'm using Hydraphase Intense Légère. So this doesn't look good. These young people are now, they're already not doing very well, but they're now going to have to think about their visa status, etc. I think there was a leniency period where people who had expired visas will have it extended until end of May or something like that. But still, you have that uncertainty hovering around you. And so, my mentees actually are not. One of them is European, the others are not. So, as we were talking, I decided to talk to the rest of their colleagues in my practice. Just talk about how to make the best out of a time of crisis. We're not saying party your way through it. What we're saying is more, don't get defeated. The thing is that every crisis has a start and an end point, right? In 2009, when we were hit by the economic crisis, I remember I had graduated right after that. There weren't many jobs. We had all these people coming back from abroad who were sacked from their companies in Europe. A lot of people coming back from London. And then not only you had not enough jobs and people, a whole batch of new graduates fighting for them, but you also had an incoming flow of people who had 1 or 2 years experience abroad, which meant they were not valuable enough to keep in Europe, but they were already at a step ahead versus the new graduates. So it felt like it would never end. A lot of people had to settle for jobs that they wouldn't have taken. And yet here we are, still alive, still fighting. So a lot of these crises happen. And the problem is that if you consider it as the one and only thing that's going to happen, then you fail to prepare for the recovery, and then when the recovery comes, you are a shell of yourself. And as I keep telling everybody, this is not about surviving, it's about surviving well. So being in a time of crisis means that you need to prioritize what you invest in and what you don't invest in. For me, my recommendation for all of my mentees has been to really use the extra time that they have to train themselves, to develop a skill, to do something that actually will make them a bit more ready for the recovery. Now, I'm not saying spend hours and hours doing stuff. The thing is that most of us commute about 40 minutes or 45 minutes to get to work. So inadvertently and involuntarily, we had just gotten back an hour or an hour and a half of our time a day. The first week or two, it's good to spend it on Netflix and all these kind of things. I mean, do it because you probably never had that. This is just a little bit of my skincare. This is Evi Technology Sunscreen Mousse. I started wearing sunscreen because I work in my living room right in front of the sun. So I was saying, it's okay, don't feel bad if you've been binging YouTube and Netflix and all of that. We probably all enjoyed the first couple of days. Now that this is becoming the new normal, don't actually spend 1 or more or 2 more months just doing that. That 1.5 extra hour is something where you want to look, so what it is that I can develop that will actually give me an edge when all of this is over. It might sound a bit selfish, but it actually is not. The economy is going down and everybody has a contribution to the economy. So even people like me, like consultants who think, oh, but you know, we're just making pretty slides. I don't think we're making pretty slides. So yesterday, I was doing again many hours of my Skype meetings. I do all these workshops live. Oh, I got sunscreen on my pajama. And it hit me at one point how grateful the client was for my inputs. Because the thing is, this is a small company that was definitely going to go down. They are doing some nice things. I mean, they are in construction, which is one of the least evolved sectors in industry. And they're trying to make it safer, cleaner, all of the right things you want to see in such an industry, right? But then they were just small, they didn't have experience. Most of them started in construction at age 16, and they all say, I have 20 years experience, but they have, you know, street smarts, school of life. And it just was really great to see that I spent a lot of long hours working with them. I am happy that when I finish my period on that project in 2 days, actually tomorrow, that they are in a better position to face all the changes that they're having right now. That felt really good. It was really heartwarming because they were already saying, oh, we're going to miss you, we wish you could stay longer, etc. And I know that my day rates are very high, but then I also know that I add so much value, that I help companies not fail, that I help companies come back up from bankruptcy. And sometimes you really need that reminder to know that, yes, you are confined at home, yes, you spend 12 hours a day on your laptop and you have, like I had a migraine yesterday, that's why this side looks a bit dark. I tried not to take medicine. I had only 1 ibuprofen, but today I'm going to take my migraine medicine, the hardcore stuff, because I need to focus. But yeah, it makes it worth it. And then everybody in society has a contribution, so you need to find what your contribution is. For me, what I have decided to do is that I know that this period is going to be a few weeks long. So instead of just watching additional series, and I have been watching additional series, I have been thinking, what are the skills that I want to take up? Are there any books that I wanted to read? They don't have to be work related. I just need to exercise my mind and find what are the things that will make me stronger in my head and more able to thrive once all of this is over. So that's the first thing. Prepare for the post-crisis now, because you know it's going to eventually be over, and you know that everybody's going to be out on the other side of it, but you want to be on the other side of it still strong, still thriving and ready for the challenges that the prosperity throws at you, versus coming out weakened, a shell of yourself, and just not being able to seize any opportunity that comes after that. One of the ways you get ready for such dark times is by having enough fat or reserves, and that's not always just in terms of money, but money is energy. Money is not dirty. Money is important. It is good if you make it good. It is bad if you make it bad. And what you want to do now is to really keep that mindset of now starting to save. You really want to make sure that you don't spend what is unnecessary unless it's something for your mental health. So that's what I would actually advise you to do. That means that hopefully you have already something to rely on, but going forward, whenever you have a cost, think of it, is it just a cost or is it an investment? I still spend money on nice things that some people consider a cost. I had talked about that before. Just because for me, it's a means for productivity. Like for instance, I would spend money on gym equipment right now because I have noticed that when I do that, my mental health is better, and I actually feel like I can do a lot more when working. This is not burnt, but it's very hard. The other thing I invest in is usually anything that can generate money afterwards. That could be skills. So if I want to buy books, I still continue to buy books. Sometimes I will get them used. Get them used if you cannot afford to have a new book, but continue investing in yourself. Get audiobooks. This is not sponsored by Audible, though I'm a member of that, and I actually do have books on that, on the app. But they don't have to always be things related to your work. They can be self-development, self-help books. They can be something about a topic that's always held you back. It can be if you always had a sort of trauma, for example, you might want to read a book or follow a course on beating that trauma. Investing in your health, be it buying vitamins, exercising, getting counseling. Mental health is health. All of that kind of stuff should definitely be counted as an investment. What is not, and what you need to cut on, is all the discretionary spending that is just purely cost, because people tend to spend a lot more when times are good, and then when times are bad, they end up with not having much. Whereas if you build that cushion, whether you decide to spend afterwards or not in the bad times, at least you have a choice. You can still choose not to spend, but when the crisis hits, you don't have to change a lot of your habits. Also, in this situation where people have been stockpiling, I haven't. When people have been stockpiling, you notice one trend of those who are able to front the cash are in a much better position, right? Those who are able to get the private healthcare, those who are able to get organic food delivered to their house, who have their own car so that they can go and still go for nice walks in the countryside, who have second homes, etc., etc. This crisis is about highlighting how bad people who don't have a cushion will have it. It really highlights that. So if you didn't really have that built in, it is never too late to do it. Yes, you probably, some of us will not be having income. I'm obviously project based. I get day rates, so obviously if I don't get projects in the near future, I will not get paid. And it will be the case for a lot of people. Some people are hourly workers. Some people are in industries that are gig economies, you know, freelancers, etc., etc. So this is not about saying some people who have been earning a lot will not be suffering from that. All I'm saying is, don't go into this as a very comfortably. Always make sure that you have your safety pad, because you don't know what will happen to you. You don't know what will disturb your world as you know it. So do that. If you can start now, that would be great. If you cannot start now, plan for it. So the moment you start earning an income, you have that facility of actually being able to spend in times of crisis without panicking, without freaking out. I am very grateful to the fact that I wasn't spending crazy amounts of money compared to my income. and that when this happened, I was able to just stay home and do my best to order the foods that I need. I'm not into hoarding, so I actually order what I need for 2 or 3 days, and then I try to get that all the time, because I think it's very important to even out the supply. I don't want to empty shelves and have people who can only afford to buy one potato at a time not find anything to buy. So I don't want to be one of those people, though I understand if some people have kids or something like that, they tend to freak out a bit more. But I will not die of hunger, that's the thing. So yes, it's fine if I don't have the things that I like. I have a bit of pasta, and I have 3 packs of spaghetti and some tomatoes, and even if I run out of the chopped tomatoes, I can have spaghetti boiled with some salt and pepper. Nobody died of that. So nothing is the end of the world if you make sure that it's not. One thing I wanted to mention though was about the response of different countries, and I remember I was following that a bit in a too much of a detail, which was not a good thing to do, but I was following the response of Italy, of the US, of the UK, because I live here, of Morocco, and I know I had been very impressed with how Morocco has handled things, given the we have a lower level of education. We don't have as much we don't have such a strong infrastructure. We have a lot of inequality, etc., etc., which is the case in a lot of places, especially capitalist societies. But given all these things that would set us way down on the scale of countries that could fight this, I was really amazed about how this was handled. But at the same time, I couldn't help but notice how everybody was berating everything. It almost seemed like you could not eventually get it right. Any decision that was taken, you would still have people who are saying, "Oh, that's not good enough," or "This country did that," or "This country did that." Let's not forget that although these people are relatively senior, and yes, they are handsomely paid for their jobs, etc., they are equally scared. They're also dealing with a virus that they don't know much about. Again, just because you have that title doesn't mean that you are de facto ready to address the issue. And I had seen that obviously for a lot of companies where not the kids, I call them my kids, but like a lot of my mentees had been comparing with their housemates what has been happening, how their company reacted, and they would be just very critical of their own employer. But we're all in this together, so if you have suggestions, if you know how to make things better, you need to think, how can I actually contribute, versus saying, oh, they didn't do it well enough. So yeah, it's about being a lot more proactive. So that means that after having a few days of me freaking out about this whole situation, which is fine, everybody should be entitled to freak out a little bit. I'm going to use something under my eye because I just don't like how this looks. I just decided to take matters in hand again, and so I have just started. Oh, that looks much better. Thank God for correctors. See, I don't really use any videos today. I had a couple video calls a few days ago, but I still want to look good for myself because, as I always say, makeup is my armor. But I'm not wearing a lot of makeup, to be honest. It's just, I just don't have the head for it. But one of the things that I did after I had my initial freak out is I just decided to take matters in hand again. And so some of the things that I did is to just sit down and think about what are the things that I need to invest in for my mental strength, for my health, for my mental health, and just in general. Like, what are the things that when all of this is over, I will be glad that I would have done this. So that's why I installed my little routine. I have also been very kind to myself. So I decided that yes, I want to work out, but I had been also realistic about the fact that I'm not one who was working out quite a lot. I'm going to use this concealer just on my little spots, and I will call it a day. Just powder it a little bit so I'm not shiny, and that is it. What I decided to do is to start working out, but I also, oh my god, I did not blend that. I also did not want to be delusional about it, right? I was not working out for many months. Now was not the time that I was going to do it in such a way that it's completely life-changing. So I have to also be kind to myself, to my body, and acknowledge my abilities. And so that's what I did. I have gotten some of the stuff that I would need to be able to work out at home. Luckily I had a yoga mat. I had a foam roller, which I still don't use, but I showed you in my little haul the things that I got. And for now, I have been stretching every day. That's the only thing I have been doing. 25 minutes of intense stretching because I have a knot here. Very painful. Let me see my milk. So 25 minutes of stretching every day. And that in itself made me happy because I wasn't doing even that in the past months. And I had a bit of a freak out because you guys know I had a foot surgery on my toe, and my toe is not flexible. And every day it feels a little bit better. I still have the freak out because I was non-weight bearing for such a long time and I wasn't really folding it. But now, yeah, the first time it was like this, now it goes like this. Now I think I started to see a little bit of an angle. So it will take time. And every now and then I think, is it ever going to be as flexible as it used to be before? Is it ever going to be as strong as it used to be before? But hey, it's been a week. So very happy that I have been able to carry that. That's the first thing. Stretching, because I'm hurting all the way from here. Because when I focus, I tend to hunch. So that's something that I really need to get better at. But, I mean, I'm not judging myself too much in these times. The other thing that I did, which is an investment, is actually I ordered an office chair because the pain now is permanent. The pain that I have around this side and down the back is permanent. It's been like that going on for about 6-7 days. I already have the migraine, which, oh my god, I forgot to take the medicine. And I know that I'm going to be working from home for several weeks, and it will make my scoliosis worse. So that is an investment. For other people, that is a cost. If you don't work 12 hours a day in front of your computer, you don't need an ergonomic chair. If you don't have, well, even if you don't have scoliosis, you should actually take care of your back. But like, if you don't have really painful medical conditions, don't get something that is medical grade. In my case, I knew that I would reach the point where I cannot sleep because of the pain. So I already preempted that, and my chair is coming in 2 weeks. Costs that I'm not taking I don't do takeaway. I know a lot of people started doing takeaway, and I know that it's in part it is supporting the local industry and all of that, but I just decided that this is not my thing. I can cook. I don't need to do that, and I do not buy like movies and things like that. I know a lot of people picked up subscriptions, some entertainment bundles, and all of that stuff. I did not do that. My gym membership was halted, and I got the confirmation from HR that means that I will get some money back every month until they resume. So I got some money in March. I will get money in March next week. So what I did is that I looked at how much it's going to be, and I bought one piece of gym equipment with the money that I would have spent on my gym membership. Now, that is a much better investment because my gym membership, I never use it, whereas that machine, that little bar, I will show you later maybe on another day, that little bar, I bought it from a small business in Norfolk. The lady's name is Carrie, and she was very happy to get an order because obviously nobody's buying anything. So I was very happy to contribute to her income, and this bar, I've already used it twice. That's a lot more than what I have used my membership in the past 3 months. So that tells you a lot. So for me, that is an investment, not a cost. I did not pick up any memberships to any online courses or anything like that. But if you feel that you need to have a membership to an online course, I think a lot of universities are doing that for free, and it's part of the stuff that you need to do to upskill, right? And so I think that it's one of those things where you shouldn't hesitate much about picking up such things. I would worry more about buying clothes and things like that, unless it's something that you really like, that you know you're going to be wearing while being confined at home, and that it will put a smile on you and make you more productive. You know, sometimes you don't know how people react to different things, and I know that a lot of people are encouraged by wearing nice things. I'm encouraged by just having a healthy looking face. That is all I'm going to do actually for my makeup. But when I have a healthy looking face, when I have a little bit of fragrance on, today is pomegranate noir. I'm not a big fragrance person. My entire mom's side of the family are crazy about fragrance. Like, they would go through this in a month. Everybody, little boys, girls, my uncles, my auntie, everybody. My mom didn't get it. My mom was the only one who didn't get that. But then my sister, my older sister, is also crazy about fragrance. My younger sister too. I'm more like my mom, but I realized that maybe in these times of crisis, my genetics are coming through. I really need that scent around me, and I feel like I'm becoming a true. I was gonna say my family's name, but no. Yeah, so now I'm ready. I'm going to have breakfast. I still have half an hour before my work starts. So what are the partying thoughts while I'm having breakfast and get dressed? Yeah, so let's recap this video, because, you know, it was part vlog, part get ready with me. And so the recap for the crisis. Remember that crises happen a lot. Almost every 10 years. If you talk to somebody who's over 50 or 60, they will be able to tell you, especially if they have been in business, they'll be able to tell you what happened almost every 10 years. So that's something that happens, which means that you also know that it's going to be over at some point. So your key focus is to make sure that you survive it well. And surviving it well means that you had an armor, that you had a cushion, that you were working on some muscles while everybody else was not. And that means investing in your mind, that is reading what you need to read, working on your mental health, working on your physical health, developing some skills, having a creative outlet. Just take care of yourself so that when you come out, you're not weakened. So that is a key focus. Show some empathy to people who don't know how to handle this. Just because you are in this position to invest in yourself, other people don't even have that choice. Yeah, I know the thing about you always have a choice, etc. But it's not always the case, right? So be there for other people. Try not to judge people who are trying to make some decisions but are not able to do it in the best possible way. Not everybody was equipped to do this. Everybody is still collecting data. Everybody is having access to different types of data. We've been bombarded by all kinds of news and fake news. So that is also important. If your employer, your government, your local authority did not do something right, instead of just berating them, let's try to find some empathy in that, and let's try to see how we can contribute in this. And then once you do all of this, make sure that you have the right balance of what are your investments versus your costs. Cut down your costs as much as possible, but don't forget that investments are what gives you a platform to jump when it's time to jump. So your investments are very personal to you. For some, it can be work material, it can be study material, it can be a lot of things, but make it personal to you. Don't compare notes with others, because that is about your own personal success. And then just be okay if you're not feeling okay. These are hard times. We all have down days. I had down days a couple days ago, and that's why I did not film a vlog. Today I feel much better, minus the migraine. So that's why I think my eye looks smaller. But I'm gonna pop my medicine, have some food, and then we are getting through this together. So that was what I wanted to say. Let me know what other topics you wanted to have in these morning videos. I had one about mentorship, so I might film that tomorrow if I don't have a migraine again, because I think I don't know whether you guys can see the shadow, or you can see that my eye is like smaller, but I tried my best. Okay, so I'm gonna put some lip balm, get my breakfast, and get ready. See you in a bit.
Welcome to your NTT audio conferencing service. Please enter your PIN code followed by the hash. The conference has not started yet. Please wait for the moderator.
So yeah, I start at 9 a.m. I have 3 more minutes. So I'm gonna just finish sipping my coffee, and that's my day started. Hey guys, it's 5 p.m. I'm extremely tired. My day is not over, but I have finished all of my meetings for the day. I just received an email from the chair company for my ergonomic chair. Said that because they had to shut down the factory, they could not make my chair. So my setup is still going to be all 3 of my cushions, trying to get some balance. My neck hurts, so I have cancelled my order because I don't want to wait 5 more weeks. But it just sucks because there are almost no chairs anywhere. It seems that everybody's thinking about the same thing, which is understandable. Everybody's probably have their back hurt, so I'm gonna need to find another solution. I had a break, but I'm still very tired, so I'm very tempted to take like a 10 or 15 minutes nap, although I'm not going to sleep. But I'm just worried, what if I actually sleep? And then that would be really bad, especially, I mean, I've just had coffee, so it shouldn't happen, but fine. I will power through for a couple more hours, and then we'll see how that goes.